In this video, you're going to learn how to make failure and regret work for you, not against you. Think about it. Is there a moment that you continue to replay in your mind? If you're honest, like most of us, there's probably quite a few. A decision you wish you handled differently could be one of them. Maybe a conversation you didn't have. Or maybe a risk took that didn't work. Or maybe you just avoided one altogether. The truth is, you didn't stop moving forward in that moment, but something in you paused there. So here's a new perspective that can change everything. Regret and failure are not proof that you're behind. They are signals that your leadership capacity is being formed. If you're building something meaningful, failure is not a detour from success. It's one of the primary ways success is forged. So let me show you how to work with it instead of fighting it. Because regret is not a weakness. It just simply shows you data. Regret is not shame. Regret is not failure. Regret is simply awareness catching up to your action. Regret only exists because you can now see something before you couldn't see. It's like this. If I had more information, I would have acted differently. That means growth has already occurred. The problem, however, begins when regret stops being informational and it becomes personal. Instead of you saying, I didn't know then what I know now, it becomes, there's something wrong with me. Subtle shift, massive impact. Because once regret becomes identity based, it no longer teaches. It starts shaping how you see yourself as a leader. So how does fear of failure create stagnation? There's a quiet pattern that I see in high performers frequently. They don't stop because they fail. They stop because failure becomes predictive. The mental chatter sounds like, I failed there, so I'll probably fail again. Or that didn't work, so I shouldn't try this. That's when action slows, not from laziness, but from self-protection. And here's the paradox. The more that you fear something, the more you attract it. So you're going to attract more failure by fearing it, than by being willing to experience it without internalizing it. Failure is only destructive when it moves from performance to identity. Leadership stalls the moment failure tells you who you are. So here's a leadership question that failure is consistently asking. Every failure is asking you, what is this developing in me? Not, why did this happen to me? Not, how can I avoid this next time? But what capacity is being formed right now? What is something new that before didn't exist? What do I now see that before I didn't? Until these questions are answered, the lesson repeats. This is why the more that things change, the more they stay the same. This is where leaders either mature or stay stuck, cycling through the same patterns with more effort and more stress. So here's a real life story of how I missed an opportunity at leadership formation. At a retreat that I attended, I experienced this firsthand. There was an opportunity that I had directly with one of the guests. It was an opportunity to slow down, to invite reflection, to create a space for vulnerability and connection. However, I didn't take it. I was cold, uncomfortable, literally cold. I was outside. Now, nothing exploded, but something meaningful was missed for myself and for the group. That's often how failure shows up. It's quiet, it's subtle, and it typically goes unresolved. Now, I could have allowed this failure to hold me back in time, to stay stuck there, to make myself wrong for an opportunity missed at supporting someone. That, however, is not how we grow. So I took some time to reflect, and I saw these 3 lessons for myself. Number 1, we have such little time to truly have an impact on each other. It requires a deeper level of curiosity, a deeper level of commitment to one another, to not sell out when things get uncomfortable. Number 2, human connection is so fragile without honesty and vulnerability. Without those, there can never be connection. Number 3, breakdowns and upsets could be prevented through open conversation under the right setting at the appropriate time. Now, I'm not allowing this moment to become self criticism. It needed to happen. And now I take the time to integrate it. Failure doesn't ask for punishment, it asks for awareness. So, if we're going to use failure as a formation, here is the leadership upgrade for you to explore. There's a pattern that shows up everywhere in leadership development. Before people are entrusted with more influence, more responsibility, more weight, they go through a season that reveals what's underneath them, what's in their heart, what is in their character, what is their character truly made of, not to disqualify them, but to prepare them. Because you see, challenges reveal a person's default identity and character. This is where failure separates leaders into three responses. Response number one, we can avoid, we pull back. We go first into reducing risk. We try to protect ourselves instead of stewarding responsibility. Capacity doesn't disappear, it just goes unused. Response number two, repetition without reflection. We keep pushing, same actions over and over. You have the same reactions. You experience the same blind spots. You have the same outcomes, expecting different outcomes by doing the same thing. Sounds a little bit insane, doesn't it? Now, this is effort without formation. Response number three, refinement. This is the response of leaders being prepared for more. They pause, they reflect, they reorder internally. They don't ask, how do I get out of this? Instead, they ask, what is being strengthened so I can sustain what's coming next? Because leadership isn't promoted by ambition, it's promoted by alignment. And alignment is forged under pressure. Failure isn't a signal to step back, it's often the invitation to step up. So, what do we do from here? We need to explore the internal state that sustains this level of success, this level of leadership. And here's where most leadership conversations fall short. When vision is high, drive is high. However, vision alone does not sustain growth, and drive alone doesn't sustain expansion. Simple math. Vision alone does not sustain growth. Drive alone doesn't sustain expansion. Your external actions will always fall back to your internal state. That underlying state determines how you respond under pressure, how you make decisions, how you lead others. Failure exposes whether that internal foundation is strong enough for what you are building. When leaders only focus on what's in front of them, anxiety increases. When they orient toward what's being formed in them, stability returns. Failure is not disrupting the vision, it's stabilizing the foundation beneath it. So here's what we do. We bring a sense of quiet realignment. This is listening to that still inner voice. This is what I call the Holy Spirit, God. This is an organizing intelligence that is behind growth. When you speak honestly about failure, without distortion, justifying, making right, without self-attacking, without making others wrong, while taking ownership without shame, things begin to realign. Every meaningful vision is paid for through learning upgrades. There is no bypass. Failure is not a punishment, it's preparation. So here's a simple framework to implement this. Here's how to work with failure going forward. You begin with naming it. You need to start to communicate what it is without personalizing it. It's like this didn't work is different than I'm not capable. From there, you extract the lesson. You ask, why did this failure develop in me that success never could have? And as you recognize this, you start to adjust behavior, not identity. You change strategy, you refine approach, but you stay grounded in who you are. And if you find yourself in the same challenge over and over again, then maybe you're being invited to shift your identity, to become someone you've never been before, which requires some growth. And you recommit to aligned action. You move forward differently, not fearfully. You are willing to explore what showing up in a new way looks like, and you're willing to learn and transform as you move through life. As you're able to let go and surrender what is not serving you and the greatest purpose and your mission that's in your heart, this is how leaders grow without losing themselves. They adapt, they take the lesson now, they don't internalize it. So in closing, regret doesn't mean you missed your moment. Failure doesn't mean you're behind. Often, They are the very mechanisms forming you into someone who can carry what you're building. So the question isn't, how do I avoid failure? The question is, what is this failure preparing me for? Answer that, and nothing is wasted. And it's in this space of leadership where you, as a leader, are going to drastically transform the way in which your organization shifts and moves, the performance, and the ultimate end outcome. Become the best leader that you possibly could by not doing more, feeling more. Focus much more on doing the hard work instead of just doing hard work. See you next time.